Hey guys, it's Jim, What Dugan Thinks. Doing a project for you today that I saw Stu on UAV Futures do, and he'll go over all the ins and outs of how to use this. This is a LiPo discharger to put your batteries in the storage, and I'm not going to go into all that because he does a good job of explaining it, and we'll just let him do that for you guys. So what I'm going to do is clean it up a little bit. He had the little lights because they get very hot in a plate, and as the battery is discharging, these lights get very hot. So my thought process was, this is a great item to have, and I'm learning more about these batteries and the importance of putting them into a storage charge. I got a little project box here is what they refer these to. They're very inexpensive, a couple bucks at the most. And I'm going to take the time to drill a few holes into this, and then I'm going to mount these upright within the box itself and allow the cables to come out one side so you can utilize it. But then you can just set this down on your bench, and you don't have to have any plate or any worry about the lights catching something on fire or being very hot. Plus you can handle this to set it aside. So I'm going to get into that. Let me get some things fixed up and prepped for you, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I've taken some blues painter tape and put on here, and I'm just going to use my scale to estimate the center. It really doesn't matter if it is or not, it just would look nicer. So we're going to call this the center, and I'm just going to make some lines across here. And then I can take and draw a line all the way down, and this is going to be approximately the center of the box. Let's see how close it. Well, that pen's not working too good. Should be using a Sharpie, but let's see how close I am. The box is 2 inches, and that's the center, it's 1 inch. So from the inside here, the box is about 4 inches. So we got 3 lights. So I'm just going to take one and put one at the 1 inch mark, one at the 2 inch mark, and one at the 3 inch mark. So that should be about the center for all the light bulbs. So it's a very easy process. This stuff's very forgiving in terms of when you're drilling it and so forth. I want to find something to put on the bottom of this so I don't drill into my silicone mat. So what I'm going to do is, because it really doesn't matter what the inside of the box looks like, I'm just going to go ahead and utilize the base like so and put it on, and then find the correct spot. And again, this doesn't have to be exact. And you just need the hole big enough to get the wires through, essentially. So you get rid of the slag, pull this off, and as you can see, by utilizing the tape, you've got 3 very nice holes. Whoops, I just hit my camera. Sorry about that. Alright, so 3 very nice holes. So what we'll do next is we'll get the wires through there. So let me clean up my mess, and I'll be right back. Okay, So I found working with these LiPo batteries that these pin connections are kind of fussy in terms of they want to be a certain order. I don't think that's going to matter with these lights, but instead of getting caught with my shorts down and that biting me later, I'm going to take the pins out. Now I know you've seen this 100 times with other people. Pressing the little doodad down with a sharp object and pulling the pin, and it doesn't seem to be working so well for me right now. I was afraid of that. These didn't look like they were the normal connections, but let's see. No, they're not going to do it. So I'm going to go with plan A, where I cut each one of these, solder them back together, and all that will be inside the box itself and you won't see it. I don't want to destroy this because this is the only size one of these I've got, and that's going to be a more safer route for me at this juncture. So let me do that real quick and then I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back. I've got the box all wired up. Had a few challenges, mistakes of my own. Keep forgetting to put the heat shrink on and so forth, and then I had to drill a pilot hole over here on the side to get all the wires out. So basically I'm going to pull all these through and get them to where they're supposed to be. And you could have cut some of the slack out of this wire as you went down the tree to facilitate having less wire inside, but it doesn't bug me and you got plenty of real estate to put it, so it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to wind up doing with this is evening this all out. I was originally going to put a piece of heat shrink under this, but I think what I'm going to do once I get it to the place where I want it in terms of length, I'm just going to put a zip tie on the inside and possibly one right through the middle here to kind of keep it all organized. How I'm going to deal with mounting these, because there's really no screw holes or any real viable way to do that. I use silicone a lot. I use electrical GE silicone to do a lot of projects. I just got through with my DVR build and my monitor. This is my FPV monitor that I built. Everything you see on the back of this is being held on with the electrical adhesive. And the nice thing about that is if you ever want to take it off, all you've got to do is run a piece of dental floss down behind it or a guitar wire or something along those lines, and it's very forgiving and will come off. You can see a little bleed out here. Not real happy with this little guy right here. The whole deal has been a pain in the ass. I've got a converter built inside here just to keep it hid away, but it came out as a neat project, but this thing is not recording very well. It's got a lot of static in it, and I'm going to look for a different option with it. But as far as the receiver goes, it's excellent. That's been a great little project. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is get these all glued down. That's a 100% silicone, mold free, but it's made by GE and I prefer the clear. It stays flexible. I've been using this probably for 15 years, maybe even 20 or 25 years. It's just hard to say. If you keep the lid on it, it just continues to work. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do this in front of you to show you basically what I'm going to do. I'm not going to worry if these come out too much, have a little goob come out, because again, it's a tool. It's really not a big deal if it squishes out some. You can take a razor blade and trim it. I just want it to hold in place. It sets up pretty fast too, considering, although I'd like to let it last, or not last, last forever. I'd like for it to sit for at least 24 hours. But you can generally mess with it after about 3 or 4 hours. So what I'm going to do is just make sure they're kind of all straight. I mean, they're not going to stay exactly straight. Actually, I'm going to put them in a little cant. Something I learned in designing, if you put things a little off kilter, people tend not to notice as much. So let's see here. I'm going to use a LiPo battery, and let's go ahead and pile a couple of them on here. That's kind of poetic, being we're building it for those. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let this dry. When I get it all buttoned up and done, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it, see if I know how to use it, and we'll go from there. Thanks, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So at any rate, I've got these stuck on here. They've turned out great. I've gone ahead and put some extra silicone down inside to facilitate having it really stuck in there. So now I'm going to take my first zip tie and just go around the middle of the wires, just to kind of keep them neat. Not too hard. Cut the excess. And then I'm going to do one inside, simply to keep them from being able to be pulled out of the box. Not that I think they can be at this point, but you never know. Just as an extra precaution. And that'll keep them from getting pulled in and out of the hole. Alright. Simple enough. So then all we've got to do is attach this cover, and the screws come with the box. So that makes it nice and easy. And I'll go ahead and bore you with putting them in. Well, it helps if you pick up the right tools. That's a problem. I'm going to turn my light on. We'll see how much that really helps. Let's see. Does that help or hurt, guys? Hard to tell. Helps the old eyes though. My old eyes can use all the help they can get. So if this project works like I think it will, I think it'd be a pretty neat solution to keeping the bulbs from burning anything or touching anything that you don't want it to touch. And it makes it a nice compact unit. So let's see here. That one's a little bit more difficult. So another thing, I don't know if it's true or not, but these bulbs don't like to be touched with your hand because it gets grease on them. So what I do is cut the bag open and get them put in without touching them. And that supposedly keeps them from blowing so quickly. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I do have some cabinet lights with these same bulbs in them. And that's what the guy at the store tells me. So we'll just do it for the heck of it. I really hadn't planned on trying this in this session, but what the heck, right? We've got everything here. So if I remember correctly, this gets plugged into here in the appropriate spot. And I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I turn the light off. I don't know if you can see it or not, but at any rate, it's showing me all 4 cells. So I'm going to plug this into this, and let's see, discharge, and it's not lighting my lights. Not quite sure. Of course, it would help if I read the instructions too. Let me check this out, and then I'll get back to you guys when I figure it out. Okay, I'm back. I figured out my problems. I forgot to put this little cord in there. It was still in the box. So let's see. We're going to go ahead and plug this into here.
I've already tested it, it works. My issue is I touched that bulb and it smoked sure as the world. So I'm going to try it anyway. It might blow up in my face. Just so you guys can see. I'm going to go ahead and hit discharge. As you can see, the first bulb lights completely up. And then the others come on board as they need to power draw. This was at 16 and some change. So I already brought it down to 15.88. So it does exactly what it says it's going to do. A little smoke came off that bulb when I turned it on. You could tell that I touched it. And it's smoking again, so I'm not going to take any chances on that blowing up my face. I'm sure I can get another bulb at the hardware store. Probably wouldn't hurt to get a couple of them. Anyway, I tried. This is one of my first projects I've done for the channel. And it actually turned out pretty good. I'm not going to complain. It's not like it's horrible by any means. A couple minor setbacks, but it is functional. It is going to do exactly what I designed it to do, which is to facilitate using the bulbs in a safe way. I did see one video tonight where a guy had built a thing out of 2x4, a little stand, and it was functional. So anyway, I'm tickled with it, to be honest with you, so I'll just go ahead and get some new bulbs tomorrow. And that's my first kind of build on the channel. And if you could, I would like you to like it if at all possible. And I'm looking for subscribers, obviously, and I appreciate you just watching. That enough is a big kick in the butt. Some of my videos have done real well so far, so I appreciate you guys looking in, and I hope to do something here again very soon. I want to try to get at least one video a week out. Thanks.